This is Scott the Fix-It Guy. Our goal with our videos is to empower you to be able to do the repairs on your own and save a whole lot of money and also get that great feeling of having fixed it by yourself.
So this dryer is making a humming sound when you try to start it. It's got a hum. It usually means the motor is worn out. Sometimes you can press this button and then you can turn it with your thumb, give it a little boost, but it's still not going, so probably that motor's just too worn out. So we're going to replace it, and we'll unplug it first. There we go. Get the top off. Putting this about 3 inches in. Give it a little boost. We can hinge the top up. I'm going to cut this little zip tie right here. So I'll cut the zip tie, and I'm going to squeeze here to undo this power connection to the front. We have to undo some Phillips head screws right in here and one over on this side. This is going to help us get the the front panel off. One. Two. Okay, now we can grab this and pull back. And these clips let go. We can lift up to get this off. Get this front panel out of the way. Okay, we're going to reach back. One here, one here. I'm going to pull the either wheel to one side and get the belt off of the smaller little wheel that's hooked to the motor. Before we do that, I'm going to spray a little bit of WD-40 right in here so I can help to break free this blower wheel, because that's going to be part of the procedure.
If this video is helping you, please consider pressing down in the lower right hand corner of your screen the subscribe button, and that really helps our channel. Thanks.
Spray a little bit on the threads here. May help. Alright, so I'm going to reach back in there. You can see the belt. That white wheel, we're going to move it to this side and then take the belt off. Okay, now I can lift the belt off. Sometimes there'll be a plastic piece right here that you have to remove a screw. This one doesn't have it. But we should be able to lift it off by pulling up, because you have a cup and a ball that has to lift out of the cup. I just lift it out, and now we can guide it out of here. You can smell the motor has a burnt smell to it. It's just probably got pretty tired. Lifting up on the belt, get that out of the way. Alright, now we can get the motor off. This is a power connector. We're going to lift up on this tab. Lift up on the other tab on the other side. Just got that off. So if I'm turning this by hand, by turning the blower wheel, it should turn really easily, but this one is not turning easily. So part of the problem is the bearing may be kind of frozen. You can smell, it has kind of a burnt smell in there. So I put a pair of vice grips onto this little wheel here, motor pulley. You can also grab it with a pair of pliers. And I'm going to put my 5/8 socket, I'm sorry, 7/8 socket on here, as far in as you can get it to go, and you're going to turn it right. So usually righty-tighty, but in this case righty loosens up because it's a reverse thread. Probably going to be on there pretty tight.
In this case, I went to plan B because the 7/8 socket was actually stripping out the plastic nut on the blower wheel, and it's actually better to use a 7/8 socket that has just 6-sided rather than a bunch of sides. So I'm going to plan B, and that is to use the contact electrical cleaner to thoroughly clean the electrical connections as well as the motor. And sometimes if you can get everything really clean, and you can also get the blower wheel to move like we're doing here manually, you can break up the corrosion in the bearing, and then sometimes the motor can work, and you can get yourself a little bit more time, get the dryer to function until you can get the blower wheel off. Sometimes you have to actually buy a whole new blower wheel kit and then use a chisel to chip it off. But in this case, I'm cleaning it up really well. And then when I did the testing, the motor actually did a great job. I thought it was all burned up, but it was just pretty dirty, and also just a little bit corroded in the bearing. So what I'm doing now is I'm hooking up the front panel, just the electrical portion. I'm going to plug it back in, and then I can start it. So it usually won't start unless you can tell that the door switch is closed. So the door switch is closed on the front panel. Plug it in, and the motor fired right up. You can hear it did really good. So what I did next is turned it off, turned it on a few times just to make sure that it was able to start and stop.
So for your 7/8 socket, the best type is not to have the multi pieces like this, because it'll probably skip off of these flat edges. It's better to have just the regular socket 7/8. It has the 6 flat surfaces, so it'll fit a lot better. This one keeps skipping, so what I did is I cleaned up the motor somewhat with a brush, had it unplugged, cleaned up the motor area here. I got some CRC contact cleaner from Home Depot electrical section and sprayed the motor pretty good, sprayed the motor switch over here really good, and sprayed in here. So it's spinning a little bit easier. Then I hooked it up to power again, got it plugged in, and now it starts up right away. So if you do that, you can stop it by opening and closing, but that may get your motor going. And then again, to put the new motor on, you just want to get a socket that has the flat sides, and again you're going to go righty instead of righty tighty, it's righty loosen. And it's still common that these just strip out because these are made of plastic. So I'm going to put a little more WD-40, and then if it has more problems, I'll come back with the proper socket. Let's see if I can get a little bit more on the threads there. You spray this electrical cleaner this area and here, centrifugal switch area here, over here, you can turn it by hand now a lot easier. It could have been the bearing was just starting to stick. Let's see, it should turn. You give it a push, it keeps spinning for a little bit. That's a good sign. run it a little bit more. We'll put it back together. So before putting it back together, I want to remove some of the lint that's accumulated here in the dryer, because it can be something that would catch on fire, which we don't want. And I'm going to put some of this high temperature lubricant into the socket here, and that's going to help lubricate that rear bearing. And you can get this stuff when you order a new rear bearing kit. But that'll help. I'll do a little more cleanup and then we'll put it together. Just using a brush here to clean off some of the lint, and just helps to avoid fires. And then I'm using some WD-40 to spray in on the back side here where the bearing is on the back, and I'll do that on the front too. And that'll help, put a little bit in here too, that'll help the motor to spin easier, so there's less resistance and the motor won't have to work as hard. So when you get a situation like this, it's better to replace the motor, but if you can't get the blower housing off, this would be a pretty good plan B to buy you more time until you can get the new blower housing part. Okay, now we have to lift this ball up to put it inside this socket. Use the belt to help us. Lift up. Alright, so it's in the ball. You can confirm that by just spinning it. It spins nice and true. I'm going to get this belt lined up with the mark from where it was previously. And now we can reach in, take the white thing in there, the idler wheel, with our left hand, and move it way to our left, and then can loop the belt over that and then put it over the smaller wheel. So I'm going to put my left hand in to grab the idler wheel, pull it to my left. I'm going to put the belt over it first. There we go. Pull it to my left. Use my right hand. Alright. Now when I turn this to the right clockwise, we should see the blower wheel turn too. It's stuck. The belt slipped. Let me redo that. The belt, I think, got twisted. Try it again. If you get the cloth part against the motor wheel, it won't work. You have to have the rubber side. Flip it over. Okay, I think that'll work. All right. So you got the rubber part touching the little wheel and not the cloth part. So I'm turning the blower wheel, and then the drum's turning really good. Bottom on these little pins, left side, right side. Now I can close it up. I gotta make sure I push this in first, and this is going to go in here. We get another one here. These are going on the other side. And that kind of holds everything together. It's clicked in. All right, hook up our power again. There we go. Okay. Seems to be turning good. that screwed back in. This side. Go in here. Okay, I'll tighten that one. Power connector back. Go. Okay, close this one. Go. Looks good. You have a filter that kind of sits up high like this or is crooked. Pull it out and take something like an extended coat hanger, and there's a little shelf in there. You just want to get all the lint that's accumulated on that shelf off. And then when you put the filter back on, it should sit flatter. Good, because that'll create a better seal. Get all this crud off of the shelf. Okay, put that back in. Yeah, sits a lot flatter. That's good.
Thanks so much for watching our video, and please subscribe to our channel when you get a chance, and also click the little bell notification button so we can send you weekly videos on all the different ways of fixing appliances around your home and saving you lots of money. So thanks again for watching, and please also press the like button for our video if this was helpful to you. Feel free to contact me at the email listed below, which is scottthefixitguy@yahoo.com, with any of your questions. And also, if you need to have a FaceTime meeting with me or a Zoom meeting, you can click on one of the links below in the description, and we can set up a 15-minute or 30-minute video conference where we can work on your appliance problem. So thanks again for all your support and for watching the video. So we're just going to flip it over so we can get to some screws on the bottom, and we have 3 of the silver ones, and we have